Move over, Swanson. I'm driving.
Wow!
Hey, Smails! My thing is bigger than your whole boat.
Welcome back to the Caddyshack Minute. This is the show where we view and discuss and vomit into a car with the movie Caddyshack 1 minute at a time. Did I make that same joke last time? I don't know. Anyway, I'm Tom Taylor, and I'm here with my co-hosts Mike DeMaria.
What do you say we bust up this joint, huh?
And Dan Lewis.
Hey, Ringo, play something hot.
And as you can tell, we're here to talk about minute 37, which begins with Spaulding still barfing into a car and ends with Dr. Bieber letting his date into his car. Who knows what'll happen next?
Right.
I never in a million years noticed that at the very beginning of this minute, well, after we see Spaulding finish barfing, we get Pookie and Judge dancing, and she says his name for the first time that I've ever noticed, ever.
That's right, yep. And I
learned that she said it later on, like, with the loop of my stretch marks and stuff, but I never noticed that she said it here even.
Yeah, she says, and she pronounces it Elihu.
Elihu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and she's complaining about that gross guy, that gross Rodney. Oh, by the way, this 37, write it down, is the minute that made me think that Gatsby was Drew Scott all these years. Because she says, "Who's that disgusting man?" And he says, "He's the guest of the Scots." And they cut to Rodney talking to everybody, and the main guy you can see there is Gatsby, the bald guy. So I always thought that was Drew Scott.
Right, and he's just always around. I mean, Gatsby's around, but not as much as this guy.
Yeah.
I still think that's Drew Scott.
He is in my heart, but
I've just decided that that's Drew Scott to
well,
me.
wait a minute.
Changing it. Yeah. I'm okay with that.
That's going to confuse and upset everybody, including me.
No, I'm just going with it. I know
all
everybody's right. I don't need to hear the listeners' whole get all worked up about it.
Yeah,
I completely understand that is Gatsby Scott, but I just think of him as Drew Scott, and we're going to move on now.
Right. Don't get your panties in your listener's hole all about it.
It's like
it's my panties in your listener's hole.
We're at minute 37, and this is kind of like in the middle of a relationship now, right? Okay.
Yeah.
With our with our holy listeners who are in the holy listener hole, we're starting to get a little familiar with them, and
Right. And you just accept them for what they are.
The honeymoon is over, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Right.
The honeymoon.
There's still a lot of love there, but if you don't feel like taking your plate to the sink and actually washing it before going to bed, you might not, and it's not a big deal. You don't feel guilty about it, even though you're going to hear about it later.
Right. That being said, this is one of the best minutes of the movie.
It's very good.
This is a great minute. Minute 37, people.
I mean, you got Chuck Schick on the dance floor.
Oh yeah. And if you go to watching Caddyshack, start your stopwatch right at the beginning with the Orion logo, and at minute 37, start paying attention, because this is a really good one. Yeah. I'll say at the top, again, as a carryover from last minute, that I do appreciate that director Harold Ramis has Spaulding not actually vomiting into the car, just making the audio of it, instead of doing the thing like we said where you put Campbell's chunky soup in his mouth and have him blurt it out in an unrealistic way.
Yeah, I just saw that in something, just like yesterday.
Oh, and it always really bugs me when I see it in movies.
It's never effective, yeah.
And also, why do you need to do it? Like, I get it. It's not even something that even helps that you see it.
Yeah. The only one of those that I do like is from Amityville Horror. Like a nun gets freaked out. I forget that movie completely. I only remember the part with the nun barfing. She drives away from the house. She's all freaked out, and she has to pull over, and she barfs. And I think she has like the stupid thing in her mouth, like a mouthful of stuff, but you barely see it because it's out of frame. But you hear it, and the noise she makes is
oh,
and it's incredible. It's like she's never. She's not used to acting barf before.
I have to say though, Tom, that does sound a lot like what I sound like now when I do it in my old age. It's got a real weird, it's almost like a Jerry Lewis, boy, it's kind of, boy.
Here it comes.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hello.
But, of course, and, I'll make exceptions if the barfing is the point of the thing. such as in
Sure.
Stand By Me or in
yeah.
The Exorcist.
Right.
Right.
Well, there they go the extra mile, and they actually set up, hydraulics and stuff, and pumps and tubes and
Fire hose.
Yeah, they're really going at it. It's not just like, here, hold this in your mouth and try to look natural, and then barf and just spit it out.
Right.
It'll be completely unconvincing.
We went into this a lot the last one, so maybe we can get off the vomiting thing a little bit.
That's true. Well, that was more actual life barfing. This is a little more fake barfing.
Yeah, and I just wanted to get that shout out to Harold Ramis for making that decision, or maybe it was the prop department or whatever. They were trying to shave a couple of dollars off the budget.
Yeah, he did the right thing.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
They don't overdo it, even with the sound. You hear one maybe splash on the seat. But it's not like a torrent. It's not like a gush of stuff. It's like a realistic amount of barf that you hear. You don't even see.
Yeah, it's a couple of highballs and, with a cigarette butt in it.
Right. That's exactly what you'd expect.
Yeah.
Okay. Proportional.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, can I speak now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please do.
Mike.
You guys are just.
You are one of the 3 co-hosts. You should be allowed to speak.
You're verbally vomiting about vomit, and that's enough.
Yeah.
A good point.
Is it okay now? Can I make a point?
All right, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to step all over everybody.
The floor recognizes Mike DeMaria.
I'm trying to be better at that.
All right. Okay.
So they got this in this minute where he says, the famous line. Dan likes to say it. So, who is that disgusting man? And then his response is,
It's a guest of the Scots.
Yes. There's a little moment between Pookie and Elihu where you get the feeling that they have a long history with the Scots.
Yes.
Because they both.
That's interesting.
He's got his hand in. They got it in the nice, dance style, and he's working her hand into a fist. and he's fighting back the anger, and he looks at her, and then looks back at the Scots, and then looks at her again, and they know. So, the Scots have been fucking the bane of our existence now for God knows how many years.
Right, yeah, the Scots maybe themselves belong, but any one generation over, and it's a flood of riffraff. It's like the Scots are the tip of the riffraff spear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how many families or members like the Scots there are in the club. It seems like it's 99% Smails level. You got the Gatsbys, you got the Scots, but that, I don't know, is that it?
It's all caddies after that.
Yeah.
Isn't Gatsby?
Now
I'm really confused. Isn't Gatsby a Scot?
No. He's he too is a friend of the Scots, but he's not a guest of the Scots because I think he's a member.
I thought it was
Gatsby.
Drew Scott and Gatsby Scott.
Oh Jesus Christ!
No, absolutely not.
I don't think so.
What the fuck? I mean, what the fuck are we doing here? That's the whole fucking point. This whole time I'm wasting. No, wait a second here. I'm wasting my Mondays and my Tuesdays. Oh, okay. Once a week I'm sitting here wasting time with this fucking podcast. And all this time we've had these conversations and the listeners have been doing their research. It's Drew Scott and Gatsby Scott. That's the way I'm going to roll with it.
Well, yeah, I'd say no. Look, that you've got this confusion. You've got the confusion about the opposite gender named denuncios. There's a lot to untangle. It's a big Gordian knot. I'll say that in the IMDb entry that Gatsby just has the name Gatsby. There's no last name, no nothing.
We don't know. He could be a Scot.
You think of him as a Scot, but he certainly didn't get the alopecia gene from his mother's side the way that his brother Drew does.
I got to say that Drew Scott is listed as Drew Scott, first and last name, but Gatsby is just Gatsby. So, which leads me to, I don't know. I don't get the impression that he's a Scot.
He probably isn't, and I know I'm probably wrong, but God damn it.
I hear you.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Something's got to make sense at some point, and it's not happening right now.
Well, it'll all come together at the end.
I just want to get off Scott. I want to get off Scott. It's like that scene from History of the World where get off fat. when Mel Brooks is doing fat jokes in front of Caesar.
Get off fat. That's right. And Caesar is Dom DeLuise, right?
Yeah. Did he just call me a big fat pig? I think he did, sire. Do you think he meant me? I think he did, sire. Fuck. All right.
That's great.
All right.
So Rodney heads over to the band DLO, and he has words with
Jeff Lynne
Ringo.
and friends playing there.
Yeah.
And Yeah, what do you say we bust up this joint, huh? Is he bust up or bust open? It's
Bust
really
up,
hard
I
to
think.
tell.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
It's very hard to tell. What do you say we bust up this joint, huh? Which I like
Yeah.
that line. That's a good line. I feel like I'd like to use that sometime. I think I'm done busting up joints in my old age.
In my
but
day, yeah.
I bring joints down now. I say, can you stop with the Earth, Wind, and
Yes.
Fire and play a little bit of Moonlight Serenade or whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Does this have to be such a joint? Can't we just
Yeah,
Can we-
relax?
yeah.
Can I interject here for a second?
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm going to ask every time. Speaking of busting up joints, quick story about the last time I busted up a joint.
Hey.
Okay.
Okay. So
Wait, I got my popcorn. Hang on. Okay.
we were in this is in Florida, Dan,
All right.
during the school
a lot of
years.
years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But there was a big contingent from the East Coast, these like rich boys from like Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Lovely.
Okay. And this was like in the early '90s. The gelled hair, and they'd come in with the Xerox cars and everything. And it was we were at like the L.A. Bay Club where they had nickel beers or something on a
Okay.
Thursday night, and
Right.
we were mixing
You
with the
gotta
locals.
tip a penny though. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, you can go through that 75 cents like that. But we're there, and whenever we mixed with the locals, it just all went south. And this
Well,
one
sure.
night, it was starting to get a little antsy, and a bunch of these Cherry Hill boys were there, and the shit hit the fan right away, and it was like that. It was one of those scenes where everybody just grabbed the guy next to him and started throwing punches. and we're fighting our way out the door, and there was one guy who I remember he was a rich kid, and his dad was in the jewelry business, and it was like in the movies. One guy had him by the back, and the one guy was about to hit him, and it's this scene where somebody would say, "Not in the face, not in the face,"
Right.
but he goes, "Don't hit my hands, I'm a jeweler," and the guy looked at me and started punching him in the face. Then,
Oh my goodness.
"Don't hurt my hands, I'm a jeweler."
I'm a jeweler. I'm a jeweler.
He's got to place diamonds in those little tiny, settings.
Right.
So the guy started
Should've thought of
blackening
that
his
before he
eyes.
started busting it up.
Yeah. Then he started
Oh my
making
God.
quick work of his cheeks. All right, so here we go. I'm a jeweler.
I'm a star.
I'm a star. All right. So I like the way he calls the band leader Ringo. Because
Of
Ringo's
course.
no band leader.
That's right. And there's no
Right.
doorknob either.
Well, yeah. To be fair, Ringo was a band leader after his, during his solo days.
Yeah. What?
After
I suppose.
Ringo's all-star band?
Yeah,
Something
Ringo's
like that.
All-Star Band. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm no fan of Ringo.
Yeah.
What's awesome is Rodney, he tells the band to get lessons and he tosses that wad of money and there's like a rim shot. There's like a cymbal
No, it's
crash.
not a rim shot. Yeah, it goes right to the
That's not,
cymbal.
yeah, it's just a cymbal crash. And it's like Rodney doesn't do anything to create that, but the drummer's back there somewhere going, "Oh, I'll add some
Yeah.
some sugar to this
like,
this gesture."
He's like, I've
Oh,
been
a little
waiting for
sound
this.
effect.
And the trumpet player has the trumpet to his lips and he never removes it from his lips.
Right.
He sticks one hand up like he's going to catch some money, just starts opening and closing his hand, but doesn't actually reach for
Trying to
any
catch
money.
Trying to catch something.
Oh, it's the greatest. I love
He's a
it.
professional. He's not gonna put down his instrument. No.
The cymbal shot is perhaps the most perfectly timed thing in the entire movie.
Yeah,
It's just
it's awesome.
perfect. The cymbal
no
crash makes
explanation
me
for it.
laugh every single time. I've seen it like 50 times. There's nothing better than that
Yeah. That's satisfying.
as he throws the money at him.
And everyone goes berserk. Everyone is so happy that Boogie Wonderland is playing now.
Yeah,
the
right.
actual-
Suddenly it's Earth, Wind,
what's his
and
name?
Fire.
Yeah.
And Chuck Schick and is that Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boogie
Yeah,
Wonderland?
Boogie Wonderland by Earth, Wind,
Son
and
of a
Fire.
bitch.
Yeah.
I
And the
never knew
lyrics to this song reads like St. Crispin Day speech.
Oh, does it?
Really?
Midnight. Listen to this. Midnight creeps so slowly into hearts of men who need more than they get. Daylight deals a bad hand to a woman who has laid too many bets.
Okay, hang on a second. This is
the
over
mirror-
the beat of and the music of Boogie Wonderland?
It starts.
I think he's right.
It starts.
You know what's
Okay.
the-
All right, go for it. I'm sorry, I just wanted to straighten that out.
You gotta let me finish this because I'm onto something. I
Mike's
got
doing something.
Dance
roll with it,
Boogie
Mike.
Wonderland. Dance Boogie Wonderland. ha ha, dance, Boogie Wonderland. Midnight creeps so slowly into hearts of men who need more than they get. Daylight deals a bad hand to a woman who has laid too many bets. The mirror stares you in the face and says, baby, it don't work. You say your prayers, though you don't care. You dance and shake the hurt. Dance, Boogie Wonderland. Ha ha, dance, Boogie Wonderland.
Oh, can I get a ringtone of Mike going, baby, it don't work?
Yeah, I've got that recorded. We'll cut that out, and
we're gonna be rich.
We got a nice drop there.
Yeah, that's right from Shakespeare himself.
Yeah.
You know what's depressing about that? The only reason I know that you're right and that I recognize those lyrics is from the movie Happy Feet. Some penguin recites that or sings it, and yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like.
I mean, if you get,
I'm a dad.
It sounds like a soliloquy from, from a Shakespeare play, as Mike said.
Yeah.
I mean, you just need to get Sir Ian or Kenneth Branagh to say that, and it'll be just like right out of.
Well, we'll see if we can get him as a guest. I would love to have him. I'd love to put the music underneath it and just have him slowly read that.
Yeah.
Or reach out to his people.
Right.
This might be the first time I sort of feel a little bit bad for Judge Smails in this movie. He and Pookie are having the time of their lives as a couple of old stodgy people dancing to Boogie Wonderland. And Rodney cuts in, and there's like a split second where Judge Smails is still happy, he's still smiling, he's still having a great time before he realizes that it's Rodney cutting in. He's like, what? Oh! And it gets all, and I almost feel bad about that. I'm like, oh, he was having a fun time.
Yeah, it's the one time he's not a stuffed shirt. He says, okay, we'll go with this. We'll go with this.
Yeah, it's kind of you feel embarrassed for him. He's being a goofy grandpa dancing to disco and stuff, but still he's dancing like nobody's watching, and you feel bad that it gets interrupted. Right.
Yeah, he's being emasculated by a guy, and really for no reason here.
No.
Yeah. Rodney's doing his thing.
Yeah, it's
You're
okay.
not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
But to piggyback on what you were saying, Tom, about everybody's having the time of their life, but nobody is happier than Rodney. When that beat kicks in, he turns around.
Oh my God!
He is surprised at what they brought to the table.
Yeah.
And then he just starts throwing his elbows and arms in different directions. His eyes get big like saucers.
Yeah, he thought maybe he'd get Pennsylvania 65000 or something, but he gets Boogie Wonderland. He couldn't be happier.
Them to actually turn into Earth, Wind, and Fire and play the exact cut from the album.
Yeah, man. Maybe they thought they'd play Sweet Georgia Brown or some other swing type tune. Instead, it's straight to 1979, like hardcore hot disco action.
You found out that is Jeff Lynne.
I love that. Dude, I'd love that. Just put that music on there and just have Kenneth Branagh. Midnight creeps so slowly into the hearts of men who need more than they get.
It's like Vincent Price in Thriller.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the read I'm thinking of.
Now I want to hear I want to hear Vincent Price doing it.
I mean, you could have.
No, baby, it don't work.
I mean, you could recite the lyrics to this song to, men before they go into battle.
Sure.
I've always thought
Crispian's Day.
I've always thought that I want to try to set up a few gags for my funeral. I want to put it in my living will that I want certain gags to be part of it. And what I would love to do is have people start something like that, only to, for instance, they very solemnly stand up at maybe one of you guys can arrange this for me, but you stand up there and you clear your throat and you go, midnight creeps so slowly into hearts of men who need more than they get, and just do a few of the lines, and then say, this was selected from Earth, Wind, and Fire's Boogie Wonderland. And then you throw a bunch of money at the band who's there, and you hear the cymbal.
Throw a bunch of money at the casket. So let's dance.
Yeah, exactly. They love to dance in this movie, the hoi polloi.
They do. They like to cut loose a little. They should be thanking Rodney. Smails should not be angry at Rodney. He's bringing some life to the place.
But remember the hoi polloi is not the upper crust.
That's true.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, correct.
Yeah,
We're
he's-
using it in the confused
hang on a second. I used it right
Caddyshack.
correctly there.
hoi polloi.
The hoi polloi like to dance in this movie.
Yes.
They play Journey on the golf course. They play...
Yes, that's the hoi polloi, yes.
Right.
The
hoi polloi, which that's funny. This movie, that line from this movie has led to like lifelong confusion about what hoi polloi and sort of the feeling of the word. The word feels like fancy.
The upper crust.
Yeah.
Hoi polloi, yeah.
Hoi polloi.
Like glitterati, but yeah.
No, that's you.
Okay, Boogie.
Okay, Boogie.
And then he says,
it's
"Hey,
me,
loosen
Mike."
up, will you?" to Mrs. Smails, like kind of a joke that is a little bit like you couldn't do it anymore, maybe, or.
But he goes right into he's doing his lines right here because he goes, "Oh, you mind if I cut in?" He goes, "You lucky devil." Then he pulls her in. He goes, "I got to loosen up," and he goes right into a lot of woman.
Yeah, you're a lot of woman.
He's just rolling through his lines, and then she goes, "Oh," and he goes, "Oh," and he goes, "You're no gentleman."
Ain't no
Yeah. Ain't no
either.
doorknob either.
I love that.
I will refrain from asking to have that joke explained to me.
Well,
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Maybe okay. So, but maybe the one time you refrained is the one time I feel like it's legitimate.
Well, I'll let you
Well,
ask.
because I get that, and maybe you should be refraining because I get that you get the idea of what it means.
It's a little
not really
absurdist,
important.
but it's yeah.
But is there an insult that I'm not aware of that's common? Because I've used that insult many times since seeing this movie, but I've never really known.
Here it is right here. It's very simple, like all these jokes are. You're no gentleman, which is at the high end of the caliber, right? Well, I'm no doorknob. Dumb as a doorknob. I'm no doorknob either.
Dumb as a doorknob.
That's actually not the way I read it. That's not what I get from this.
I know you never do. You never get.
Here's my 2 cents.
Here he goes to his second
Everybody sit
city
down.
workshop.
Here, according to my whiteboard here, where I write down the diagrams of all the jokes, "You're no gentleman," to which Rodney says, he's essentially saying, "Of course I'm not a gentleman. That's obvious. Who would ever think I was a gentleman?" It's like saying I'm a doorknob. Like he could have said, "Oh, I'm not a VCR either." So like he could have said anything that he's
What the hell are
obviously
you
not.
talking about?
He's obviously not a gentleman. He's also
not a
obviously not a
doorknob
doorknob.
either.
Like, why would you say that I'm a gentleman?
That seems like a.
Why not accuse me of being a doorknob? That's something else. I'm obviously not.
That seems.
No,
to
you
me
could say
like,
you could. Let's go through all the. Let's go through all the.
No, hang on a second.
punchlines.
Yeah.
No, let me
people
finish
say
this.
don't. No, you.
I'm
you
dumb
let
as a
me
doorknob.
finish.
No, you let me finish
I
here.
hate it when you guys fight.
You're dumb as a doorknob. A doorknob gives everybody a turn. There's all these different things you could say, but he's just saying I'm not a fucking doorknob either, Mr. Gentleman.
Yeah,
Nice
it's
medal.
like the opposite
Nice
of a gentleman.
jacket.
Like I'm no jerk.
Yeah. The
So,
funny thing
okay,
is
so-
we agree.
So you're saying that he's calling Smails a doorknob by saying that Rodney's not a doorknob.
No.
I don't think so. I think
he's
he's just
just
saying
saying-
I'm not a gentleman, but listen, I'm no jerk either. I can't treat me like a jerk.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Doorknob?
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about this one.
I don't know why you're
really
getting all
don't.
hung up
Really
on this
opened up
one.
a can of worms. Well,
There's
because we're
there's
going through the damn movie in 1 minute at a time.
Yeah, there's a fine line between hung up on it and being just trying to pick it apart a little bit and
Yeah.
then see what bleeds out of it, like low fat eggnog.
Also, our producer is telling us to stretch.
Yeah, really, this is a fun minute, but there's not that much to say about it, so I
Yeah.
gotta fill up this time a little
We
bit.
need
it's
to
either
milk
this or I
20 more
gotta-
minutes out of this.
Either this or I tell the story of the skeletons of Quito.
I roll. Yeah, right. Oh, that's great.
Actually, we're not even done with the minute, are we? Dr.
I've
Bieber and
got-
his.
got
We
other
never
things.
decided if this is his wife or date or girlfriend or
He
what.
looks
did
a
we?
little too. It looks like she's on the side or something.
Ms.
Yeah, he's a
Bieber.
little too
No.
excited.
Yeah, they're too excited to get in that car and go somewhere.
Yeah, Ms. Bieber probably has a hose snake down her throat somewhere.
Yeah, it's Mrs. Bellows' daughter or something like this.
Right. That's why he had Mrs. Bella's incapacitated for
Right.
hours and hours so he could make
She
time
won't
with
be
her
able
young
to
woman.
protest.
And when
Yeah.
he walks her over to her side of the car, she's like swinging her hips a little bit. He's like just staring at her hips. He's got his hands on her hips.
Yeah.
He's gross. He's a creepy
he is.
guy.
I don't like him.
You're okay. He's gross, but I mean, in this case, it's not like you're never allowed to notice someone's hips. In a dress like
but coming
that.
from him, we already know he's gross. So it seems any lascivious move he's going to make is going to be even grosser just because he's gross.
I agree with that, but that's true. He does a bit of a gallant thing. He walks her to her side of the car before
That's gentlemanly.
going back over.
Yeah, but he does it so he can get a little look at her from behind.
No, that could be true.
Probably.
I did not notice the cheeky glance he takes.
This could be a first date gentlemanliness, which is not quite as sincere as 20th date gentlemanliness.
Love the dress.
That's a good dress.
It's a great. I don't know. I really missed the clothes. It's some time has passed, and now this movie seems to me, very antiquated in terms of like the look and stuff, and I'm loving it.
What's nice is there are decades of this this is you can go watch seasons of television from this era, and you could just be steeped in these hairdos and these styles and these dresses and this decor. You could just go watch, seasons of Chips and Love Boat and even Dukes of Hazzard in some ways, and
just that film with all the reds just bleeding like crazy and like
it's all kind of orangey and yellow and awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh my God! If I could live on a TV show, it'd definitely be Chips. I decided that a long time ago.
Yeah.
I know everyone would expect me to say Star Trek or something, or even Battlestar Galactica or something, but there's something about everything seemed like it was always just fine on Chips.
Yeah.
Like there might be a big car accident, but it was fine.
Yeah.
Well, you might as well live in the A-Team because they throw grenades at each other and no one ever dies. They just go flying in the air, then they get up and dust themselves off.
Yeah. Whoa. That was crazy.
Yeah.
They did a flip.
Yeah.
Now you're going to jail.
I might live in Fantasy Island or something.
Oh my God, that'd be incredible. That would actually be really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Buck Rogers. But you know what, I'm going to say Buck Rogers because not only you're in space and in the future, but it's also like that. It's like this. It's you get the style and the hair and everything and it's like Chips in space.
Thank God you didn't say that. Thank God no one said the Brady Bunch.
I thought of that in terms of this, but it's it's
a little too early for me.
It's too early, yeah.
Give me
it's
the
like
late
gotta be
70s.
on your best behavior all the time.
Yeah,
everything's a moral episode.
I was just gonna say, you gotta your every action has to lead to a moral.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
got that nosy. You got that nosy. I'm not getting off the Brady Bunch this quickly.
No. This is. I was gonna say something about the Brady Bunch.
Got that nosy Alice living downstairs.
Yeah.
She's got to go everywhere with you, even to Hawaii when you go on vacation. There she is.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, it's like I've never been one of those people that I like to have a personal relationship with the cook or the maid or the other help as it were. But then at a certain point though, it's like a little weird if she's going on vacation with you.
Yeah.
There's never any privacy in that house.
Yeah, never any privacy. Alice,
Yeah.
do you mind going to the other room for a second while I talk to my daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to have a heart to heart.
Yeah.
Also, I would just like to be alone in a room for like a minute. Like Mr. Brady has his office. Yeah. But even that, aren't there like open walls that go into like the huge living room and stuff? Like there's no like actual all the kids share a single bathroom.
There's no way you're wanking in that house. And that's why the kids are so uptight.
Yeah. Although Greg finally got the attic bedroom, so he got to move in by himself.
That's
so he
true.
Probably spackled that place.
That attic is probably that attic.
Yeah. When did we have stucco installed? I don't remember that.
Right.
Didn't he turn that into like a hippie den too?
Yeah, it was all beads and
like
everything.
mood lights and lava lamps.
Started a fire.
Those aren't beads. Those are pearls.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. That was maybe the best. Did you see the Brady Bunch movie that they made in like the 90s or whatever?
I probably saw it.
They heavily teased a sexual relationship between Greg and Marcia, and it was kind of great. It's like that's what I've been wanting to see this whole time.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I didn't.
Well, it's because I think they dated as
probably
the actors dated. I think.
Oh, for sure.
This is another good story. So, St. Leo College, where Dan and I went, it's a little tiny liberal arts school.
Yeah.
But it was like it's the middle of nowhere, and this was during when Barry Williams was doing his college tour, where he'd go around and talk about the Brady Bunch. You remember that?
No. Why would I?
No, he did this whole like it was almost like a comedy spoke. He would just go up and tell stories about the Brady Bunch and the kids and college
book.
kids.
Oh.
Yeah, it was around the time.
You still have the ticket stub from that, Mike?
No,
Signed.
because they had him come down to St. Leo, but it was to like go do your thing in the cage, which was like a snack shack down in the student center, and it's like 500 kids on campus, and there's like 15 people in there while he's doing his talk. And then we go up to this bar around the corner. It's Ralph's Bar, which is like this local bar. So we're sitting in there, and in here he comes, Barry Williams, on his way out of town back to I-75. And he goes and just gets a bottle of like vodka, and everybody just starts giving him shit, and he gets in his car and pulls off.
No way.
Yeah.
People giving him shit, like just giving him shit, like giving anyone shit, or giving him shit like, hey, Barry Williams from Brady Bunch, like giving him Brady Bunch shit.
Yeah, like look at that over there. That's Barry Williams from Brady Bunch.
Hey, Greg Brady.
Go
What
back
you
to
doing?
your spank addict, Barry.
Yeah,
Go fake a UFO,
Yeah.
you freak.
yeah, yeah.
Go
What'd you
haunt
do?
a house.
Yeah, you can't surf. The Hawaii episode. They're just giving him all sorts of shit.
Go knock an egg off a pylon.
He just got a fifth or something.
Oh, yeah.
He just got a bottle of something to go.
To go. We should post that video because no one knows what we're talking about.
To go.
I love that. Give me a bottle of anything and a glazed donut. To go.
Post it.
Wait, that's a different
No, but,
video. That was Just a Gigolo. One of them was California Girls. The other one is Just a Gigolo.
Is one of them California Girls?
Yeah, they both had these intros.
Yeah. I can't
And the
remember.
one-
The one was the like convenience store.
Yeah, and then the other one is
Right.
he's like
My
on.
doctor says I need a laxative.
And the other one was Dave TV.
Yeah. You know
And
you
it-
can't take your eyes off it.
Dave TV.
Dave TV.
That was
And then-
California.
That was California
Just a
Girls.
gigolo.
No, that was I don't know what the hell, but we're gonna find out. We'll put it in the listener's hole.
It's important. We got to figure this out. But wait, before we get off Brady Bunch, just days
Yes.
ago, Cindy Brady, Susan Olsen, was fired from her radio show gig in L.A. for going off on I guess I don't know. It's some political talk show she was on, and they had a gay rights activist on. I think he was a gay rights. But anyway, she went off on this homophobic rant to this guy. And like continued it on Twitter and Facebook afterwards, and she got fired for being a filthy racist homophobe. Cindy Brady.
Cindy Brady?
Cindy Brady. Yeah.
Kidding me?
No. You can find like the guy posted the rants that she sent him like instant messages or whatever, and it's like Cindy Brady sending this filthy, angry just spewing hatred stuff. It's crazy.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong. You know what? I was on the Star Wars Minute message board, whatever thing, Listener Society, and somebody called me out on that. I commented on something and they just wrote, "You're not wrong." I'm like, you son of a bitch! You son of a bitch!
You're not wrong.
So when Dr. Bieber's date gets in the car, you would think that she would immediately smell the puke, and she doesn't.
Yeah, I figure that every single time.
Every
She
time,
should
like,
react
how does she
immediately.
not smell it? Because she has such a vile reaction to it once he sits in it, which is the greatest sound effect in the history of sound effects.
No,
It's
no,
like
I
crunch.
think
You
you're
got
getting
notes.
into the next minute. For
No.
God's sake.
No, I
Yeah.
don't
The
know.
same minute. He sits in the puke.
No, he gets into the car. Or she gets into the car, and he's about to get into the car, but he doesn't quite sit in the
That's
puke
right.
yet
He
until
doesn't
next
sit
minute.
yet
right.
till next minute.
All right, okay. You're not
So
wrong.
I'm finding
You're
you
not
2
wrong.
points.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Not
2
wrong.
points for Mike. 1 point to Gryffindor.
And guess what? Guess
What?
what? I'm still hundreds of points ahead, Tom.
You are. I mean, I don't even know why I bother deducting the points.
No.
We're never going to catch up to you.
No, I elevate this shit show.
You do, and we are eternally grateful. Thank you. And you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong. You're right. Yeah.
Well, what do we do now? Should we stop this one and go talk about people sitting in barf?
There was another. I wanted to. We will do that soon, but I wanted to bring up the issue of: are we looking at Doug Kenney,
Oh, yes.
who's the guy and his girlfriend are dancing, and he says, "You two should get a room." You know?
Right.
No, yeah, that is. I think.
believe that is Doug
I think
Kenney,
that's
yes.
Doug Kenney, isn't it? The late Doug Kenney, who would
Yes.
die shortly thereafter. Writer.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's having it is Doug Kenney, and he's having the time of his life as well when the band kicks in.
People
Yeah,
were not
I was
having this
loving
much fun before Boogie Wonderland started, but now they're going berserk.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best thing that's ever happened to them.
Yeah,
I
Doug
think
Kenny's
it's-
doing like
yeah.
a modified twist.
Yeah. I think that's the dance that I do. I think I just kind of do that. I'm like, it's like half ironic, half
Yeah.
like this is like the limit of my dancing skill. I'm just going to do this.
But that'll get you through. No one will give you a hard time. So you're doing enough
Right.
you're doing the modicum to just
Yeah.
be like, I'm dancing.
I might be like authentic goon enough that it comes off as a form of charm when I do it. Hopefully,
Maybe.
That's
Or
what I
maybe
tell
people
myself
looking
anyway.
at you going, nah, that's all he can do. It's sad.
Yeah, that is sad. Why does he even bother?
Yeah.
Poor guy.
But
Somebody married that.
when Judge Smails has had enough with Rodney, and he goes all Sandy McFittish on him and starts tugging at his arms. That's when Gatsby and everybody comes to the scene there's something wrong here.
Yeah, and by the way,
Right.
Gatsby, the ever-present Gatsby, he's right there as soon as Al winds up in
That's
trouble.
what I mean.
He's got his back right
He
back
comes.
there.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, sorry.
He's
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's there, ready. He's like, you want to throw down? We'll throw down.
Yeah.
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 You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
You mess with friends of the Scots, you mess with all of us.
That's right.
All the friends.
We're all
of
guests of the
Scots.
Scots.
I love going into a club when you're a guest like that and just throwing that
Yeah.
kind of money around.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
You take your apology and your trophy and shove it straight up your ass.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. You got
Bad News
everybody
Bears
in
Minute.
this scene. You got Ellie Hugh Smails. You got Mrs. Smails. You got Rodney. You got Chuck
Hello.
Schick. You got Doug Kenney. You got Gatsby. You got everybody. Jeff Lynne is in there.
Yeah.
That's all. That's
I love
all I
minute
have to
37.
say about it, I think.
All right. Well, listen, there's no reason for us to ramble.
No.
We can just go on to the next minute.
No, that's fine.
It's going to be all right.
People, they got what they wanted. Did we figure out the doorknob thing? I think maybe we'll open that up to discussion on the listener's hole. We've gotten
We could.
a lot of
That's not
good
a bad
feedback
idea.
about this. We got some really good feedback about the free bowl of soup joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Will on the listener's hole. So
Right.
we'll get some more information on this doorknob thing.
I think we can. I think we're going
It's-
to blow it wide open.
Yeah. And they could say whatever they want, but it is what it is. You're no gentleman.
Oh,
Guess what?
yeah.
I'm not a doorknob either. I'm not an inanimate object. Fine, you want to go that route? I'm not an inanimate object. I'm not dumb as a doorknob, and guess what? I don't give everybody a turn like a doorknob. You could pick any one of those and they would work.
Yeah, that seems a couple.
You know what?
Seem a little tortured to me.
Does it really? Because guess what, asshole? You were on my side 15 minutes ago. You were on my side.
I was, then I changed it though.
And then you know what you did? You started sucking up to Will and all the you just said. I got some good feedback from Will in the listeners'
on
hole.
the soup
on the
thing, he
soup, but it's
provided
the
a long
same.
explanation.
It is the same thing. Picking apart the jokes. The jokes are just jokes.
That's fine.
They're
I agree with you.
just.
They say don't overthink things, but I also think
Exactly.
this might be underthinking it just a
I
This
little.
one
only-
is.
I've only
It's-
once regretted picking apart a joke and overanalyzing it, and that was the Rose of Tralee, because I found out that makes no sense.
Yeah, that's
It's
all.
not like an absurd thing. It just doesn't.
Yeah, they relied on
It's
us not
wrong.
knowing anything about the Rose of Tralee.
Yeah, let's pray nobody looks this up.
Yeah,
It sounds like it makes sense, but if you look under the hood a little bit, it makes
yeah.
zero
There's
sense.
nothing there. It's a house of cards built on lies.
Yeah. Sometimes
Yeah.
you don't have to kick the tires of a joke. You just get in the car and drive off.
Sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't. That's
I
what
will-
this is all about.
And you know what? On none of these you do. But you leave it up to
Mike,
Will
if you
and
did the
the
Caddyshack minute by
listeners'
yourself, you just say, "Oh, there's a minute. There's a bunch of jokes. Don't
Yeah.
question them. Good night."
Yeah, don't
Here's
listen to
the
me.
text of the film.
Don't listen to me.
There's no sub
Don't listen to
that.
me.
No,
Don't listen to me.
your point of
I
view
just
has a seat
don't
at the
listen to me.
table.
Don't. You know what? I used to look things up for a living, but don't listen to me. And don't listen to me. I just travel around the world and talk to heads of state, but don't listen to me about anything.
Saving the
Okay.
world one country at a time.
Right.
Yeah. Don't
Good
listen to
job
me.
on the election.
Good. Hey, that wasn't my fault.
You're never gonna live that.
I had a very specific role to play, and I played that role like a Stradivarius.
Yeah, I went and got drunk on Checha. Next thing you know, you wake up and an orange-faced moron chimp is president.
I grabbed the wrong tin of Barbasol.
Right.
Wrong. This ain't microfiche.
How many times do we practice that? How many times do we practice that at your house before you went on this
cut
mission?
to me in the hotel, just spraying it against the mirror. It's actual Barbasol.
What have I done?
You're trying to get to the bottom to see if there's anything there, like a Cracker Jack prize that you'll never find.
Time to leap out the window.
Hey, you're not wrong.
Take your cyanide pill. It's over.
Damn it! I lost my cyanide pill.
Well, don't listen to me. All right, let's
All right.
let's just
just
do what we
end
need
it.
to do here. Let's all take our cyanide pill together,
We'll all take
like,
a cyanide pill. You please
Jonestown.
all, everyone kill yourselves. That's what we're trying to say. That's terrible.
Take a fistful
All
of barbiturates and some vodka. Go out like Heaven's Gate.
Yeah. Go.
Wash down with some wall.
I don't like the way this is ending. I gotta
I
go.
don't like it either.
This is a weird ending.
Yeah, I
we
don't like
apologize for this weird ending, but we're going to barrel through it, and we'll come back next time for minute 38 of Caddyshack. So come back then, won't you please?
You're not
You
wrong.
freaks.
No.
None of you are wrong.
Both of you are wrong.
To hell with you.
Get bent.
Hey, you scratched my ankle.